Hello Internet, 60x Self. We're going to talk a little bit more this week about Persona 5. If you want to catch up, there's a link in the description below for where to watch the last one. Scratch what I said last week. Madarame is a monster. He's totally a monster. He let Yusuke's mother die of a seizure in front of him so that he could steal her art. So he was never an artist at all. His one great work was a stolen piece. A stolen piece that was a self-portrait. Madarame painted over baby Yusuke to make the mother's face more mysterious about why she had a loving expression looking down. Don't get me wrong, he's still a strange, hard left turn from the rape monster that was Kamoshida, but damn. Ice cold dude. Anyway, last time we were on our way through his mind palace, and surprise, we ultimately defeated him. But intrigue, in his defeat, Madarame asked us, what about the other guy? Apparently, another black-masked individual was running around in his mind palace, and Madarame was concerned that this person was going to kill him. Who the hell is that? Cuts to a few weeks later, and Madarame has confessed his crimes. And in confessing his crimes of plagiarism, more and more people are believing in the Phantom Thieves. So many people believe, in fact, that a boy detective... No, not that one. Yeah, that one. Goro Akechi, the boy detective, takes notice. And on live TV, Akechi says some very unkind things regarding the Phantom Thieves' brand of justice and its legality. But, dramatic irony, he wants to be friends with the squad. Oh, by the by, you can rename the team from the Phantoms, and I renamed them the squad. Anyway, I'm guessing that he will ultimately be joining the squad. Meanwhile, the Shujin Academy principal, Kobayakawa... No, not him. Although I see the resemblance. Yes. Anyway, he demands that the student council president, Makoto Nijima, get to the bottom of the Phantom Thieves. So basically another no-good, do-nothing adult. Remember, this game is about adults versus children. Anyway, Makoto is good, sort of, and deduces who the Phantom Thieves are, mostly because Ryuji can't keep his big fat mouth shut. However, Makoto is on board with the squad's brand of justice, potentially, and asks for proof that our justice is just. It seems there are some folks from the local mafia, which I assume is a localization of Yakuza, that are putting the squeeze on teenagers in the area, including some Shujin Academy students, coercing them into delivering envelopes full of drugs, and then blackmailing them with pictures of this trafficking of drugs. To prove the Phantom Thieves' justice just is, they need to find this mafia boss and change his heart. Whew. Molestation to plagiarism to organized crime and drug trafficking. This story goes places. I like the storytelling conceit conceptually, flashing back and forth, though I feel a bit conflicted about showing me the Phantom Thieves' next target, and then flashing back to them discovering it. It's a weird, almost like the game is spoiling itself. I'm conflicted. The actual flashing back and forth is also becoming a little bit irritating, but that may be because of the number of confidants I am finding all at once right now in the story. Let's explain that a bit. In Persona games, the main character forms bonds, called social links, with troubled characters and must hang out with them until they're in a better place, mentally or otherwise. And each bond's personality is representative of an arcana from a deck of tarot cards. So in Persona 5, these social links are called confidants, in fitting with the thief-rogue theme of the game. And each level, 1 through 10, of the confidant's storyline grants new personas that can be fused, and grants bonus experience to personas of the same arcana when you fuse them. Does that make sense? So anyway, now I've gained several new confidants, I'm finally starting to really like some of the characters in this game. Of the initial round of confidants, An seems like a fairly generic rich white girl who's a lonely story. Ryuji is a one-note rebel who's rebelling against anything around him, whether it makes sense or not, railing against any adult he sees. Sojiro is a gruff but kind underneath it all sort of person that I'm usually drawn to, but he seems kind of flat. And Yusuke is a prat, but he does at least have a good head on his shoulders, albeit with a slightly warped worldview. But these new confidants. Akechi seems very smart and likable, and he's got this whole fun dramatic irony thing happening where he wants to be friends, but friends with the people he's hunting. And Makoto seems to be a more realistic struggle of a young adult trying to be good and do what she's told while not actually agreeing with the things she's being told to do and having to come to terms with that. To be fair, I haven't even started her storyline yet. That just seems to be where it's headed. And we have the once corrupt politician Yoshida, who is trying to redeem himself and make some positive changes to his country. So I'm enjoying finding all these new people to hang out with in the day-to-day interactions in the game. I also like that the non-party member storylines are contributing more than just new personas, such as Yoshida, who is teaching Yoshi how to communicate and negotiate better, thus allowing me to negotiate with shadows in the Mind Palace and Mementos more. And Mishima is giving us skills that increase the amount of experience from battle. So there are other things you can do in Persona 5 as well, such as work a part-time job, study, take a bath, read a book, attempt to eat a series of successively larger burgers, reminiscent of the Beef Bowl challenge from Persona 4. The majority of these are fun little things that don't really impact the main story, aside from increasing one of the 5 stats: guts, charm, kindness, knowledge, and proficiency. But instead they add a layer of flavor to the game. They increase the density and believability of the world. And that's a thing I really appreciate, and it's ultimately what draws me to the Persona games, particularly 3, 4, and now 5. The Persona team at Atlus are good at building a world that draws me into these games. Maybe it's just because I'm getting older. Maybe it's because it's repeating itself in game after game. Maybe it's getting worse as it repeats itself. It's difficult to say, but I am getting tired of teenage horniness. Operation Maidwatch is nothing but horny teenagers trying to trick an adult woman into doing sexual things with them, who explicitly asks how old they are, potentially ruining the lives of whoever the maid is that arrives. It's like reverse statutory, I don't know. It was a little funny when it turned out to be one of the teachers from the school, but even that made me a little bit sad. This woman is risking her career as a teacher, trying to make ends meet. But that aside, it shouldn't even be a huge risk to her career for her to have a second job that might include sex. There are numerous angles to this that are all messed up. And there's another horny scene where the squad, Yoshi, Ryuji, An, Morgana, and Yusuke, they're all hanging out, making a hot pot, getting to know each other better, talking about their past, how they got where they are. And An is tired from the heavy meal sitting in her stomach, decides to take a nap on the couch. And Ryuji and Morgana immediately start trying to look up her skirt. It's quiet, but it's not at all subtle. An makes explicit shooing motions to get these horny to leave her alone. It's not even commented on, it just happens. If I looked away from the screen, I would have never known this occurred. So why is it even in the game? Just to appeal to gross perverts? Feel a sense of camaraderie with these two characters because, hey, those guys are kind of scummy too. I really like it a whole lot. It's a dense game. Of course, there's going to be things that someone won't like. These are just the things I don't like. Mostly the gameplay is unchanged, and I still find that enjoyable. There is one small gameplay thing. There's a calendar, and it's a welcome addition to the game. I'm learning to rely on it more and more. Basically, all it does is tell me which part-time jobs I can work on a given day. But that was a chore before. Now I can just go to an option in the menu, and there it is. And I'll leave you with this. Morgana at one point says, "There's no way I turn out to be some evil bad guy in the end, right? There's no way someone like me, who has honorable aspirations, can be evil." Way back at the beginning of the game, the detective who caught Yoshi said that it was one of the teammates who gave me up. Could it be Morgana? Is that too obvious? Alright, here's the real thing I want to leave you with. It's a dumb thing. I love dumb things. There's a new Mountain Dew called Dew SA. Like USA. That's a mix of 3 flavors with a garish color scheme on it. Very... yeah, America! It's dumb, and I love dumb things.